What is our database? DB. Okay. Yeah, there is a database that is DB test, right? So here you have a tables, and our table is application one underscore student model. Now select star from application one underscore student model, right? So this is your table. Okay, right? So I want to retrieve the data. So what I'm doing is, so I said the student, all is a method which returns what here? Query set object. So what is query set? The query set having result of executed query. So what is query set is, what is query set? The query set consists of, or query set object contain the result of executed query. Query set is having, or query set object contains a result of executed query. So query set object, okay, contains more than one row. Query set object contain more than one row. So here all methods, so all method, here all method, what all method is doing? Returns what here? Query set object with each record, which each record or each row as model instance or model object. So what query set contain? Now query set contain the result of executed query. Query set is having result of executed query. But all method, what it is doing, it is returning result of executed query into which object? Query set object. And this query set object having each record or row as an instance of which object here? Model object. So that is called model instance. That is called model instance or what? Model object. Now you can see that. Now here I'm writing a query set equal to student model. So what is the name of the class? Yes. Okay, student model dot. So student model dot objects dot. What is the name of the method here? All. So what is the student model is the name of the model, and objects is what here? Model manager, and it is having one method called what? All. So once you press enter here, okay, now it is written query set object. You can see it is written query set object. If I'm writing type of what here? QS. Now this is an object of which type here? Query set. So what will happen if I print a query set? This is query set, and this is having a list of which objects here? Model objects. Now you can see student model object and student model object and student model object and student model object. Means each record or each row is written as which object? Model object. Okay, each row is written as a model object. So query set, all method returns a query set. All method returns a query set which contain each record as one model instance. Now if you want to read, for example, you want to read a row 1. If you want to read the row 1, you can read the row 1 by using what here? Index. I am using query set of 0. Query set of 0 is nothing but, okay, it is written which object? First object. This is written first object. If I am saying print row 1, So it means this query set contain a list. See here, a query set contain what here? A list. And within the list, you have each record as one model instance. And how can you read it? You can read it by using index. You can read it by using index. Now, this is a first row. If you want to read the data, you can say print. You can say print row one dot. What is the name of this here? Roll number. So, what is the field name? The field name is what? Roll number. Field name is roll number. Row one dot roll number. Row one dot name and row one dot roll number name and row one dot course. Row one dot course and then row one dot what is that here? Page. Now you can see this is the first student roll number name course and page. So now if you want to read another row, you can say row 2 equal to query set of 1. So this will return what? Another row. And again you can say print. Okay, row 2 of row 2 dot. So roll number. Okay, row 2 dot name and row 2 dot what is that here? Course and row 2 dot this is what here is. You can read all by using what? For loop. For row in what here? Query set. And you can print row dot roll number. Okay, row dot name and row dot course and row dot page. Now this is reading all the rows. This is reading what here? All the rows. You can just use a for loop. You can read it by using index. You can read it by using index. You can read it by using what? For loop. You can also do the slicing. Okay, rows. I want to read 2 rows. I want to read first 2 rows. Then I'll say 0 colon what here? 2. If I'm saying 0 colon 2, it will try to read how many rows here? 2 rows. First 2 rows it will read. If I'm saying rows, you can see this is first object and this is what? Second object. Okay, but what is a rows? Rows is what? Again, list is here. This is a list. Okay, this is not a query set. This is not a query set. This is what here? List. This is not a query set. This is a list. Okay, now if I'm saying rows of query set of -2 colon. If I say -2 colon, this will read. What is it? Read or not read? Not read. So immediately it is given which one? Error. Saying that negative index is not supported. Means always you have to do the slicing using which index? Positive index. But you cannot perform this by using which index? Negative index. It is done by using positive index, but it is not done by using what? Negative index. So that is a rows equal to query set of 0 colon 2. So this will read how many rows here? 2 rows, right? So you can read it by using index. You can read it by using slicing. You can read it by using what? For loop. But I said no, this query set always return, all method returns always a query set with instance of which objects? Model objects. Okay, right? So this is a first one here. So this is a method called which one? All. So there is one more method is there. So there is one more method. So the content of the query set. Now here I'm writing some points here. So these are the points to remember here. Okay, what are the points here is? So first one is the content of so the content of query set, the content of query set, the content of query set can be read using different what here? Approaches. are using different methods. One is using what here? Index. And here index, it allows only which index here? Positive index. And using which one here? Slicing. Okay, slicing also only positive, right? And third one is using for loop. Now you can iterate all the objects one by one using which one here? For loop. So the content of query set can be read using different methods, using index, using slicing, and using what? For loop. You can write like this. Okay, for example, you can say what is that model name dot model manager. What is a model manager here? Objects dot all. So this will return the query set, and here you can give what? Index. No problem, because all returns what? Query set. From that you are reading a specific row or not? Yes. In the same way, you can write a syntax like this: model name dot objects dot, okay, all. Even you can give what is the slicing, where you can write a starting index. Okay, this is a starting index, and then what? Stop index. Okay. You can also use a for loop. You can give the query set to the for loop. So for variable, for variable name in which object you are giving? Query set object, and here you read each row. So these are different methods to read data from what? Query set. Now there is one more method called values. So there is one more method called what? Values. Values is another method of model manager. So values is another method of model manager. Okay. So you have a method called all, and you have a method called what? Values. So all method returns a query set with each record as what? Model instance. Each record as what? Model instance. But when it comes to the values method, this return the query set with a list of what? Rows. But it doesn't return each row as what? Model instance. It doesn't return each row as what? Model instance. But rather than it returns as what? Tuple. Okay, just see here. Values. There is a method called what? Values. Now just see here. Okay, here I'm writing. So there is a query set, and I'm writing here student model dot objects dot what is the name of the method is values. So this method also returns what here? Query set. This method also return the query set, but you can see, you can see this query set is having a list. This query set is having what here? List, but it is written each record as what here? Dictionary. See here. It is written each record as what here? Dictionary. So this is a dictionary, right? But is it written each record as a model instance or dictionary? Dictionary. Dictionary, but not as a model instance. Okay. As a dictionary, but not as a model instance. So that is where you find the difference here. Okay. But both are written the query set only. But one which contain the model instances, and second one contain what? Dictionary. So when you go for it, for example, if you want to do any updation or deletion, if you want to do any updation or what? Deletion, then you read as which instance? Model instance. Okay, you read it as what? Model instance. But you want to just read, but you don't want to perform any updation or what? Deletion. Then just read only what? Values. Read only values. So by saying query set student model dot objects dot values. So this method, okay, this method returns which object here? Query set object with each record. Okay, with each record or row, which each record or row as what? As what here? Dictionary. Each record or row as what here? Dictionary. So what is the syntax of this? Is Now again you write model name dot model manager. What is a model manager here? Objects dot what is the name of this method is values. Okay, where you can read it but you cannot do any changes on what model. You can read it but you cannot do any changes in model. If you want to do any changes in model, then you should return that as what model instance. You have to return that as model instance, but not as what here dictionary. So now what you can do it, you can read from query set, you can read each row. I'm writing a row 1 equal to query set of what is this here 0. This returns first row as one dictionary or not? Yes. And from dictionary, how can you read the data? By using what? Key. You'll say row 1 of what I want to read is a roll number. I want to read roll number. So row 1 of what I want to read here? Name. Okay. So I just read the roll number as well as what? Name. Right? So this is now you can also read it by using a for loop for row in what is this here query set. But here each row is written as what here dictionary. But this dictionary is read only, right? Means if you do any changes in dictionary, the changes are done only in dictionary, but that changes will not be effect to what database. But if you want the changes to be effect to what database, then you have to do changes in what model. In that case, you can go for which method? All method. Or you go for get method. You go for all method. Or you go for which method? Get method. Right? Yes. So this is values. Yes, I think you understood this values method, right? Okay. And there is one more method to read the content of database table. And what is that another method is? Yeah, we'll discuss how to delete. We'll see it. Okay, how to delete. We'll see is dictionary. A row is what a dictionary. In this case, row is what dictionary, and this dictionary contain the key and values. So that is what I've written here, right? So this method returns a query set object with each record a row as what dictionary. But all method returns query set with each row as what model instance or model object. Model instance or model object. So third one you have is there is a method called list values. Okay. There is a method called what here? List values. List values. So query set. I mean, this is also written the query set. This method also returns what here? Query set list values. So this method also return the query set. Now just to see here, I'm saying query set equal to okay student model dot objects dot what is the method name is list values values list something. Okay, student model dot objects dot okay this is values list mistake. So what is the name of this method is values list. Values list. So I've written reverse. So what is the name of this method is values list, right? So when you see this values list and if you see query set, what this query set contain the list, but each record is written as what now? Tuple. Here each record is written as one tuple. Okay. So you can return as a dictionary by using values. You can return as a model instance by using all. You can return as what? Tuple by using what? Values list. Okay, values list. Right? Now tuple means You cannot do changes because tuple is mutable or immutable, immutable. But in dictionary, can you do the changes? Yes. But if you do changes in dictionary, that changes. If you do changes in dictionary, that changes. Okay, if you do changes in dictionary, that changes is applied only in dictionary, but not. Okay, if you do changes in dictionary, that changes are done only in dictionary, but not in model database, right? So this method, okay, values list method, this method returns what here? Query set. So what is query set? Contain the result of executed query, right? So this method returns the query set which contain, okay, which contains each row as what? Tuple. It returns each row as a tuple. Okay. So what is the syntax? What is the syntax of this is you are writing like this model name. Okay, model name dot model manager, which is nothing but objects dot. What is the name of this method is values list. Values list. Now, when it is written as a list of tuples, you can do slicing, you can do indexing, anything you can do it. I'm saying row 1 equal to query set of 0. Means this returns which row? First row. But when you say tuple means each row, I mean each value is identified with what? Index. Dictionary, each value is identified with what? Key. Okay, but tuple each value is identified with what? Index. Okay. Now, if you want to read, you're saying row 1 of 0, row 1 of 1, okay, row 1 of 2, row 1 of 3. So I try to read each column value or not? Yes. But each column value is identified with what here? Index. Because it is written as what? Tuple. It is written as a tuple, right? So that is values dot that is nothing but model manager dot values list. Okay, right? So I think you understood differences, right? So all method, values method, and one more is what? Values list method. All method returns query set. Values method returns query set. Values list also return query set. All method returns query set, which each record as one model instance. Values method returns query set which each record as what? Dictionary. And values list also returns a query set with each record as what? Tuple. So when to go for which, you should know that. If you want to do changes in the database table, you return each row as what? Model instance. Model instance. In that case, you go for which method? All. You don't want to do any changes, you just wanted to read it, then go for which one? Values or values list. If you want to read it, each value by using a key, then go for what? Values, because that returns dictionary. And if you want to read each value by using index, then go for which one? Values list. Correct or not? Okay. Then now is it this is returning all or not? Yes. But I don't want to return what? All. I don't want to return all, then you have a method. You have a method called, so there is a method called which one? Filter. There is a method called what here? Filter. Filter is another method of model manager. Filter is another method of model manager. So get method followed by some condition, right? But get method returns how many records? Only one record. Get method cannot return more than one record. Get method returns how many records? Only one record. But I want to read. Suppose I want to read all the records. I want to read. Suppose here. I want to read all the students whose course is what here? C. I want to read all the rows whose name is what? Some Rajesh or whose fees is greater than what? 2000. Now, is it having more than one record or one record? More than one record. Then how can I read it by using some condition? I want to read it by using what here? Condition. I want to read it by using what here? Condition. Okay, right? So in that case, you are trying to use a method called which one? Filter. So filter is a method. Now this method also returns. This method returns what it returns. This method also returns what? Query set. If it is more than one miss, always it is written in which object? Query set. If it is one miss, model instance. One record is written as model instance. Multiple records are written in query set. One record in model instance, multiple records in what? Query set. Now this method returns query set. Okay, query set with with each row as what here? Model instance. Model instance or what is that? Object. So this method is used. Okay, this method is used to read. Okay, read data from read data. Data means nothing but what? Rows from database table. Okay, database table based on which one? Condition. You are trying to read it based on some condition. So that can be done by using what here? Filter. That is done by using a filter. Okay. Now what is the syntax of this is? Now you are saying, okay, now the syntax is you are writing a model manager dot. What is the name of the method? Filter. It followed by what now? Condition. You have to write what here? Condition. Okay. So if the condition satisfied, then it returns all the rows. If the condition doesn't satisfy, then return the query set with what? Empty. It returns the empty query set if the condition doesn't. Yes. So that is filter. The method is what here? Filter. Okay. So filter is a method. Now just to see here, I want to retrieve all the students. Okay, who's doing the course called C. Okay, then what I'm doing it, I'm writing a student model dot objects dot what is the name of the method is filter where I'm saying course equal to which one? C. Then it is written the query set. You can see the query set with how many students here? Two students. Two students are doing the course called which one? C. You can see there is a fourth record as well as what? Fifth record. But these both are what student instances are not. Yes. If I'm writing a student one equal to, now you can read it by using for loop for row in what is that? Query set. And then each row is what now? Model instance, row dot roll number, row dot name, row dot course and row dot fees. Now you can see these are both the students doing which course here? C course. In the same way, if I'm writing a query set equal to student model dot, so where course, I'm modifying the course. So course equal to what here? Oracle. But is it any student is doing the course Oracle here? No. No student is doing the course called which one? Oracle. Then what is the query set here? Empty. Now this query set is empty or not? Yes. So if it matches the condition, then it returns a query set with some model instances. If it doesn't match, then it returns what? Empty query set. Okay, then it returns the empty query set. Now this query set doesn't contain any data, right? So in that case, you can use a method called which one? Filter. So filter is the name of the method. So that is based on what here? Condition. You are reading it based on the condition by using filter. So there is one more method. And what is the name of the method is there is a method called exclude. There is a method called what? Exclude. Exclude is there. And this filter is include. Filter what here includes, but exclude doesn't include the condition which returns true, right? Filter includes, but exclude what? doesn't include what? Filter. What is the meaning of this is it will read all the data. It will read all the data which doesn't match what? Condition. It will read all the data which doesn't match what? Condition. So that can be done by using which method? Exclude method. Okay. That is done by using one method called which one? Exclude method. So filter, what it will do, it includes. Includes means it returns all the records which satisfy what? Condition. But exclude method, it returns all the records which doesn't satisfy what? Condition. Which doesn't satisfy. Now I want to read all the students. Okay. Other than what? C students. Other than C. I want only C students means filter. Other than C students means what? Exclude. Exclude. Then it returns which object? Query set object. This is also written query set object. Okay. Returns the query set object. So this method returns, okay, which object again? Query set object. This method returns query set object, which include, okay, which include all the records which doesn't satisfy or which doesn't what? Match which one? Condition, which doesn't match the condition. It returns each record. It returns each record as what? Model instance. It returns each record as model instance or what here? Object. So in that case, you are using a method called which one? Exclude. I'm saying here query set. Query set. Now here I'm not using filter, but in the place of filter, I'm using what here? Exclude. So course equal to what here? C. I said exclude course equal to C. Okay. Means include all the students except what here? C students. Include all the students except what here? C students. Now you can see 1 is there, 2 is there, and 3 is there. But these students, now you write here, for, I read it here, for row in query set, so print, now you are trying to print all the rows. Now you can see Python, Java, and what? C++. But is it C students are included or not included? Not included. Is it C students are included or not included? Not included. Not included. Okay, right? So this is a method called which one here? Exclude. Now exclude is one more method, right? So these are various methods by using which you can read data from what? Database table. So how many methods we have seen? 6 methods, right? Okay, 6 methods. I said about first method. What is that? Get. What is the second method? All. What is the third method? Values. What is the next method? List. Values. List values. Values list. Next is filter. Filter. Exclude. These are 6 methods are there for reading data from database table. Reading data from database table. How many methods are there? 6 are there. Okay. Yes, you understood how to read. Okay, right? Because whenever you develop a web application, suppose assume that you may perform certain operations, right? Okay, you may do certain operations. Okay, for example, you take a login only. Login is there where you input what? Username and password. You input username and password like this. You input username and password and you have a login. You have a button called which one? Login. Now you enter username and password and click on the login button. Once you click on the login button, now this input is given to what? This input is given to what? View. So view will read this username and password and verify in what? Database. It will verify in database or not? Yes. Then how it will verify in the database? Tell me how it verifies in the database. By using, suppose my model name is users. What is my model name? Users. Dot. What is the model manager? Objects. Dot. What is this? Filter. Filter. Filter returns what? Filter returns what? Query set. You can use filter. You can also use which method? Get method. You can also use which method? Get method. Okay. But get method raises what? Error. Get method raises error if doesn't match this username and what? Password. Because of that, I use which one? Because of that, I use which method here? Filter. Filter. Now here will you write a condition or not? Yes, you write a condition here. What is the condition? Suppose username. You give the username. Which username? The input username or not? Yes. At the same time, you define password. What is the name of the field here? Password equal to input password or not? Yes. So if match with this username and password, then it returns a query set with that model or not? Yes. If the query set is not empty, if the query set is not empty, then it means is this true user is valid or invalid? Valid. If the query set is empty, is it valid or invalid? Invalid. Invalid username or password. Invalid username or password. Right? So read a match. Read a match by using which one? Filter. Suppose I want to know. Then here I'm writing like this. Suppose how many students. Now this is my query set, right? How many students? How many students are with course? How many students are with the course other than what? C students. Okay. Then I'd written the query set, and this query set is having one method called what here? Counter. Now what is the count is returning here? 3. Means how many students are with the other courses than C language? 3 students. How many students are with other than C language? 3 students. Now that I can find out by using one method called which one? Count. Now count is a method of what here? Query set. If the query set is empty, what will be the count is? 0. If the query set is empty, suppose I'm writing a query set, student.model.objects. Okay, here I'm writing filter. So here I'm using what here? Filter. Course equal to what? Oracle. But is it any student doing the course Oracle? No. Then how can I know that? I'll just write query set dot. What is that? Count. Is it any records are written or not written? Not written. So what is the count is here? 0. In the same way, when you are verifying the username and what password, you'll try to check, is it this username password is valid or not? If it is valid, the query set contain one record. If it is invalid, query set will be what? 0. If the query set is 0, then is it that is valid user or invalid? Invalid. So there is a method. Query set provide one method. What is the name of the method is? Count. So there is a method called count. So count is a method. Count is a method of which one? Query set. Which returns count of which one? Objects. Returns a count of objects. So what is the syntax of this is? Query set object dot query set object dot which one? Count. You have to write query set object dot count. So that will return how many objects are there. So within the query set, how many objects are there? That is written by which method? Count method. So that is written by count. Okay, then this is how to read. Okay, this is how to read. Understood? These methods you understood? Get all values list, filter, and what is that? Exclude. Okay. Now we know how to insert the data and we know how to retrieve the data. We know how to insert the data and how to retrieve the data. Then next is how to update. Update what here? Row. How can you update the row? Updating. We are learning CUD operations. That is inserting, updating, and what? Deleting. Query set, not string here. Query set is nothing but array of objects. No array here. List of objects. There's no array here. It is a list of objects. Query set is a list of objects. So how can you update the row? How can you update the row, right? So how can you update the row? So here you are not sending any SQL statements, right? Okay. If you want to insert or update or retrieve the data, see, are you doing anything using any SQL commands you typed? No. Everything you are doing it using objects. Your objects are provided methods, and using that objects you are performing operations. Using that objects you are performing what? Operations. Now you don't require to know what? SQL. But as a developer, you should know SQL because for debugging at the backend, so compulsory you should know what? SQL. After inserting, you want to check whether it is inserted or not. Then you have to go for database. Yes or no? Huh? So then what is updating? How can you update the row? So updating row. Okay, replacing. Okay, replacing or updating. Okay, replacing or updating values can be done on which instance? Model instance. Model instance. You have to read model instance or what? Model object. See, anything you want to do on table. Now, what is a table in your Django model? You want to do anything on table, compulsory, you have to use what? Model. So this replacing is done in two ways. Okay. This replacing can be done in two ways. That is replacing one row or replacing multiple rows. Replacing one row or replacing multiple rows. Okay. So replacing one row can be done by reading one instance, reading one model instance. Yes, replacing can be done. See here, replacing. So this replacing is done in how many ways here? Two ways. Replacing is done in two ways. First one is okay, reading one model instance. So this is nothing but on model instance. Model instance. Okay, one model instance you read it. One model instance or object you read it. So one model instance is one row. One model instance is one row. Model object is one row. Model object is one row. Model object is one row. You want to modify multiple instances, then you can use what? Query set, provide one method called what? Update. Query set, provide a method called which one? Update. So what is the method here? Update method. You can also use which method? Update method. That is for updating one row or multiple rows? Multiple rows. So this update is a method of what? Query set. Update method is of what? Query set. Now first we'll talk about replacing how many records? One. Replacing means updating one row. Updating one row. Okay. Updating updating one row. S is updating one row. Okay. So what do you do first? You read one record. How you read one record? Tell me, yaar. How you read one record? Get. Use which method? Get method. Okay. I read one record means row. Row equal to R. I'll just write a student. One equal to student. Student. What is that here? Model dot. What is a model manager is what? Objects dot. Get ID equal to what? One. Or ID equal to some 5. ID equal to what? 5. Yes. So it is written one model instance or not? Yes. It is written one model instance. Written the model instance. And this model instance is nothing but one object or not? Yes. So what it is having? Now you see student one dot roll number name. Sorry. Student one dot roll number. Okay, student one dot name, comma, student one dot course, student one dot what is that? Fees. Now you can see this is one row, right? I want to modify the course from C language to Oracle. I want to modify the course from C language to what? Oracle. Then what I'm doing it? I'm saying student one dot. What is the column name? What is the field name? Course. What is the field name here? Course. Course equal to what here? Oracle. So here I write course equal to Oracle. Now here I modified the course from C language to what? Oracle. Now if I say print, but if I say print this, now you can see the course is modified from C to what? Oracle. But see in the backend, if you see in the backend, right? In the backend, is it modification is done or not done? Not done. But when the modification is done, if you save it, when the modification is done, if you save it, I said student one dot save. When I say student one dot save, is nothing but executing query on the database table or not? Yes. Now if you see this, now it is changed the course from C to what now? Oracle. But if you don't, if you are not writing, your save, if you are not writing your save, where the saving is done only in the object, model object means memory. It is done only in memory. But you want these changes to be done on what? Database table. Then you have to invoke the method called which one? Save. No commit. You are not using SQL. Okay. So you are saying student one dot what? Save. So that will do changes in what? Database table by executing the query. You can see here what? Oracle. But here you are updating one record or multiple records? One record. Okay, one record you are updating it. So updating one row. First step is what? Read. Read what here? Row. And second step is what? Update. Which value? Column value. Third step is what? Save. Update column value and then save it. And how you read a row? By using which method? Get method. And then you are replacing value with what name? Field name. And after that, you execute the method called save. That's it. So this is updating one record. Okay, now this is updating what here? One record. Understood? What do you say here? Yes or no? Okay, so nothing. You have to read one row with some condition. But get method read one row or multiple rows? One row. Get method doesn't read multiple rows. Get method reads what? One row. Okay, it is read one row. And then after one row is nothing but which object? Row is nothing but which object? Model object. Row is nothing but model object. Okay, so this model object, you have how many fields? Roll number, name, course, and phase. Now, which value you want to replace? Course. Then student one dot course. Assign the value. This value is assigned within which object? Student one object. But you want these changes to be done on what? Database table. Then invoke which method? Save method of model instance. Save method of what? Model instance. Then sometimes you want to update more than one row. Update more than one row. Okay, then you can go for which method here? Update method. If you want to update more than one row, then go for which method? Update method. Update method, you'll use it. So update is a method of what? Query set. Update is a method of query set. Okay, right? So update is a method of, yes. I just write about this. So it is a method. It is a method of what here? Query set. So this method is used. This method is used to update more than what? One row. This method is used to update more than one row. Not one row here. Update more than one row. Then what are the basic steps? What are the basic steps first? First is read. Read what? Read read multiple rows. Multiple rows using which method? Using which method? Which method? Filter method. Using filter method. Using which method? All method. Because filter and all methods returns what? Model instances. Always you do the updation on what? Model instances, but not on dictionary or not on tuple. Not on dictionary or not on tuple. So you can use filter or you can use what? All. Use these two methods, filter or all. Then after that, invoke which method? Update method. You are invoking update method, but how you invoke the update method? Which one? Which column you want to update it? Which column value you want to update it? Then give what name? Column name. Column name equal to what? Value. Column name equal to what? Value. Which column you want to update? You want to update fees column? Then just give the column name as what? Fees. You want to update whichever column you want to update, just give the name of that column. Getting or not? Okay. So you want to update. You want to update. So what do you want to update? Now here two students are there, no? Rajesh. Okay. I want to update the fees of all the students whose name is what? Rajesh. I want to update the fees of students whose name is what? Rajesh. How many students are with the same name? Two students with from 1000 to what? 1500. I just wanted to put what? 1500. Right? Then what do you do? First step is query set. Query set equal to student model manager dot filter. Course equal to what now? Course name. Name equal to what? Rajesh. Okay, name equal to Rajesh. Now this is written query set or not? Yes. Then query set dot. What is my method is update. What do you want to update? Fee. What is the column name? Properly should check this. Fee. Fee. Sorry. Fee. So fee equal to what now? 1500. As said, fee equal to 1500. Now how many rows are updated? Two rows. Means is it written the count or not? Yes. If the count is 2, if the count is greater than 0, means updated. If the count is 0, updated or not updated? Not updated. Not updated. Now just see in the backend. In the backend, if you run this, is it updation is done or not? Yes. But here you don't require to invoke same method. Here you don't require to what? Same method, because update method update. Update means it invokes which method? Same method. You don't require to invoke it. So that is what we have seen in the first also. What is that? How many ways can you insert the data? How many ways can you insert data into a database table? Two ways. One is creating model instance and save. Second is using which method? Insert method. Insert a create method. Second is by using create method. First one is create a model instance and save it. Second is by using which method? Create method. But here, create method, create a record and save it, update the changes. But in this case, update method, update the changes. You don't require to apply what? Save. You don't require to apply the save, right? So this is updating. You can also write, for example, query set. You want to increase the fees. You want to increase the fees of all the students. Now query set dot objects dot which one? All. Query set equal to student model dot model manager dot what? All. This returns all. I want to increment all the students' fees with 200. Existing fees plus 200. Then what will I do? Query set dot update. Now I'll write fee equal to fee plus what here? 200. I said 200 fee, but is it this is worked? No. So I just write query set dot update fee equal to fee plus 200. But I cannot write directly this one, right? I cannot write directly this one because this is only which one? Column name. If you want to do that updation, then you have to go for which one? Each model instance you have to read it. Each model instance you have to read it and then modify. But you cannot do directly by using which method? Update method. Because update method accept only what? Column name. It followed by what? Column value. Just to assign the value as an expression, but you cannot use what? Column value plus some value or some operation. If you want to do that, you have to read model instance. From query set, you have to read what? Model instance. And from model instance, you should read what? Column value. And then you have to update that column value with the existing value. But not directly by using which method? Update method. Not directly by using which method? Update method. Now suppose, okay, now I want to update all the students with existing fees with what? 200. Then what you do it? You will say for row in which one? Query set. Now each row is one model or not? Yes. Then I'll say row dot which one? Fee equal to row dot fee. Row dot fee equal to row dot fee plus what is that? 200. Each row is one model instance. Sorry, each row is one model instance. Now I do like this. Now, is it all the rows get updated or not? Yes. So I incremented by saying what? 200. You can see 5,200, 2,200, 1,200, 1,700, 1,700. But you cannot do it directly by using which method? Update method. Because update allows you to replace the column values. But I cannot use again column value with the existing column value with some operation. In that case, I need to take the help of which one? Model instance. Yes, this is updating multiple rows with the existing value, right? So you can use either filter method or all method and then invoke which method? Update method. See, all this you have to practice, because we'll be including all this while developing application. Okay, at that time, I'll not tell you again what is the update, what is the model instance. No, directly we'll write the code. At that time, I'll not tell you again. You should not ask what is the objects, what is query set, what is filter. I should not ask. If you ask also, I'll not tell. Understood? Yes. So this is update. Then next is what? Deleting row. Next is deleting row. So this is deleting what here? Row. So advanced ORM is also there where we'll be learning relationships and how to get the data from multiple tables. Okay, that is how you get the data from multiple tables generally. In SQL, how you get the data from multiple tables? By using what? Joins. Joins, sir? Yes, using which concept? Joins. Now here also, you can get the data from multiple tables. But here we are not using SQL. Then how you get the data from multiple tables? So here also you'll talk about joins. That is advanced ORM, where I'll tell you how to generate a relationship between more than one table. You design everything at what? Everything you design in what? Model only. Your your database you design in what? Model. You don't require to write single command in what? SQL. Everything you write in what? Model. So how to delete a row? How to delete a row? So deleting row is done. Deleting row is done. Okay, in two ways, right? You can delete a row in what? Two ways. Two approaches or two ways. One is uh, by deleting what here model, by deleting model instance. Okay, by deleting model instance, you can delete a model instance. And second one is using what here? Remove method. You have a method called what? Remove. Remove method is there. So create method, update method, remove method, all method. See here. Select all. Create is for inserting. Update is for replacing. Okay. And remove is for deleting. Remove is for deleting. So deleting model instance. First thing is deleting model instance. Okay. For example, so what I'm doing is I'm saying row equal to model. So what is the model is student, okay, student model dot objects dot, what is the method is get id equal to 5, id equal to 5 student model. So print row here, this is my row. Okay, then I'll say delete. Can I say delete row? Huh? Yes, I deleted row, right? I deleted what? Row. But see in the back end, is it your row is get deleted or not? Deleted? No. Row is not deleted. But I deleted row. Na? Is it I deleted row or not? Yes. But is it back end deleted? No. Can I say row dot save? Can I say row dot save? No. I cannot say row dot save. I cannot say row dot save, right? Because if I say row dot save, this row is deleted, right? This row is what? Deleted. Deleted from where? This row is deleted only from memory. This row is deleted only from memory. This row is deleted only from memory. I said row. Student model dot objects dot get id equal to 5. Yes or no? But when you say delete, generally use the delete keyword for deleting or not. Yes. Delete keyword is used for deleting. But I said delete a row. But this row is deleted only from memory, but not from where? Not from where? Database. Table. It is not from database table. Not from database table. Right? Okay. We have to mention which row should be deleted using index. Yes. That is not here, right? Because row is one model instance or not? Yes. but you deleted only one model instance. You deleted only one model instance, right? One model instance you deleted. But generally, if you want to delete a model instance, you can also use delete. But that you apply on which one? Query set. That you apply on which one? Query set by reading a specific record. By reading a specific what? Record. Okay. So it is provided various approaches. Now you can see this is so query set. Now this is query set provide which method? Remove method. Okay, query to delete. Sorry. Now remove method of query set. Okay, remove method of query set or delete. Now here you have a method remove method. Remove not remove here. So remove method, delete method. Okay. So you have a method called which one here? Delete. So return the deletion count. Now this is for deleting multiple. So this is deleting multiple, right? So the primary method of for removing objects represented by query set is, what is that method is? Delete method. And this method is called directly on a query set object and results in the deletion of all the objects contained within that query set from the database. Now, I think this is, I said what remove. So remove. So delete. Create, update, and what is that? Delete. Create, update, and what? Delete. Right? So deleting model instance and using which method now? Delete method. Using delete method. Right? So what you do is first, what you do first is you just read all the data. Read all the data. But how you read the data? By using query set. Student model dot objects dot what? All. Then you'll use query set. So query set of, now you want to delete how many objects? Now query set dot, if I say query set dot delete, then it deletes what? All the records. Then you should see that you should not delete all the records. But I don't want to delete all the records. Then what will I do? Query set off. What I'm doing? I'm just using the index as what? 0. I said query set of index is what here? 0. Index is 0. Or you use filter method. Query set equal to student model dot objects dot what is the method is filter. Name equal to what here? Rajesh. Now this returns one record. Name equal to Raj. Two people are there. Okay. So query set. I'm writing a query set student model where I'll say ID. ID equal to what here? 4. ID equal to 4. And then I'll say your query set dot. What is the name of the method is? Delete. Now this is deleted one model instance or not? Yes. Now you can see in the backend whether this is deleted or not. Now, is it this record is deleted or not? Yes. But you need to apply this method on what? Query set. I should apply this method on what? Query set. If you want to delete multiple records, right? Then say query set. Now, suppose you want to delete first 2 records. Then what you can do? You can apply slicing. What you can do? You can apply which one? Slicing, and then invoke which method? Delete method. Then you can invoke which method? Delete method. Right? So you can use a method called which one? Delete. So delete is a method of what here? Query set. So that delete either one record or more than one record. But how you delete only one model instance? You can delete only one model instance by storing that model instance within what? Or by storing that model instance within what? By storing that model instance within query set. Within query set. Okay. Yes. So this is about which one now? Delete. Okay. How you delete it? By using a method called which one? Delete. But you can delete either one model instance or more than one model. But everything should be stored in which one? Query set. And then invoke which method? Delete method. Invoke which method? Delete method. Right? Yes. Yeah, you can apply this condition on delete cascade. Yes. Sir, by mistake, if all records deleted, can you restore this records or delete permanently? Means I cannot say rollback. Huh? Can I write here rollback? Huh? I said here rollback. But any rows are rollback here? No. No, huh? Yes, sir. Is it this record is deleted or not? Yes. So it is deleted what? Permanently. It is deleted permanently. But you can apply on delete cascade. Means before deleting, you can put some confirmation whether you want to delete permanently, yes or no. If you say yes, then you should delete it. Otherwise, what? No. So that's the reason whenever you delete, just you need to see that there should be some confirmation, right? Yes. So these are crude operations like inserting, updating, and deleting, and what? Retrieving by using model. Understood? Right? Now this can be done. This can be done. This inserting, updating, deleting, you can do it by using, but actually this is done by administrators for managing your project, right? So this can be done by using user interface also. What is that interface is? Admin interface. You can use what? Admin. So admin panel, right? We have seen in the Django features. So Django provides what? Admin panel. Django provides what? Admin panel or admin application by using which you can manage what? Your application. You can create users. You can create groups. You can give what? Permissions like authenticate authorizations. Okay, like insert permission, delete permission, retrieve permission, update permission. You can give all these permissions to individual users or what is that? Group. All this you can do it by using which panel? Admin panel. Getting on it. But that is done by whom? Administrator. That is done by whom? Administrator. Okay. So how can you perform this crude operations from admin? Okay. How can you do all these crude operations by using what? Admin panel. Admin applications here. By default, when you see here, by default, whenever you create a project, your project is created with some predefined applications. Your project is created with some predefined applications. Now this is your application, right? What is application one? Is it developed by you or somebody else? User defined. But these applications are developed by you or existing applications, and within that you have an application called which one? Admin. But admin is used by whom? Admin only, not by ordinary user. So how to communicate with the model? How to communicate with the model using admin? How to communicate with the model using admin, right? How to communicate with the model using admin? So what I'm talking about is admin. Admin what? Panel. Admin panel or admin application. But you learn more about this later. But now I'm telling you only one concept here. That is how uh, uh, an admin communicate with what? Model. It means it provides some GUI. Okay, it will provide one graphical user interface. Means admin is what? Web application. Admin is also web application, and that using that admin application, you can manage what? Models. You can manage what? Models. Now you want to know Is it this records are inserted or not? Then always you don't go for backend and check, right? You just open which one? Admin. And you verify it. Is it this data is inserted or not? Correct or not? Suppose admin want to insert data, then he can insert the data by using what? Admin interface. Using what? Admin interface without moving to what? Backend. It is just like a navigator. Your MySQL navigator will be there, no? So where you can see all the tables. Okay, then if you want to insert, will you type any command called insert? Will you type insert command or you insert directly? Insert directly by using which interface? Graphical user interface. Now your admin is just like that. Okay, right? So how to manage? Now what you are learning is how to manage models. How to manage models using which one? Admin interface. Admin interface. Okay. So for that, now you must be an admin. You should create what? Admin. Just this here. Just up to this, is it clear? Right now, this is not over. ORM is not over. ORM is not over. Right? What you learn? Only inserting, updating, deleting, and what? Retrieving. But are you learn advanced concepts of ORM? No. Advanced concepts is like relationships and getting multiple data from multiple models. Okay, that you have not done. Okay, because first we'll work with one table, then we'll work with multiple tables. Because you never develop a project by writing everything in one table. Will insert all the data in one table or multiple tables? Multiple tables. And then you generate what? Relationship. That is to avoid redundancy, inconsistency, right? So managing your data becomes what? Easy. Getting or not? So that we'll talk about later. Now exit from the shell. Exit from the shell. Exit. Just type which function here? Exit. So that will close which shell? DJANGO shell. Now you practice up to this. Now tomorrow I'll tell you how to perform, how to interact with the model using which panel? Admin panel. And then we'll develop our own application which communicate with what? Database. Right? So I think you understood up to this, right? Okay. So today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this. Right? Thank you. Right.